Hello, my beautiful sisters over 40 out there. I am so glad you're here today. My name is Nita, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. Yes, today I have so much to talk about. So, today's episode, I want to urge you to stop carrying it alone and trust God in your hard seasons. I am so excited that you are here with me today. I see and honor the courage it takes for you to continue to show up for yourself in this season. I can assure you, this is a safe space where women over 40 from all over the world will learn, share, and grow together. So I'm going to ask you to do me two favors. Put your name in the comments. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Also, please let me know if you are joining us live or watching the replay, because I want to properly acknowledge you for spending your precious time with me. So please also stay with me until the end. I have a gift for those of you who stay until the end. It's a copy of Eat Fear for Breakfast. It's a devotional journal that will help you break free from fear and boldly walk into your God-given purpose. Yes. So if you are with me, if you're here today, I want this to be interactive. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free. So today we are talking about how to stop carrying it alone and how to trust God in hard seasons. I know what you must be thinking. You must be thinking it's easy. It's easier said than done. Yes, it is easier said than done. There are 4 ways women respond to pain, and only one leads to your rebirth. So sometimes some women shut down. They assign blame. You get angry and become bitter. So let's talk about alternatives. Let's do that. So think about this. When you feel discouraged, do this instead. Instead of breaking down or shutting down, turn upward, not bitter. The way you respond to pain determines your becoming. It determines the outcome. The outcome of the situation really determines on your response. The truth is, at some point in our lives, every woman will face a moment where life feels heavy, where things don't go as planned, where disappointments, confusion, and pain show up all at once. You know what they say, when it rains, it pours. It just seems like you can't even catch a break. Everything all at once. You asking yourself, oh my God, can I just breathe? I need a moment to breathe. And in that moment, you will respond one of the 4 ways I talked about. You may not even realize it. So it becomes more like an automatic response. You know, that's your default response. You may not even realize it. But how you respond to that moment will determine whether you stay stuck or step into your rebirth. And I know you don't want to remain stuck. Nobody want to remain stuck. No, nobody. So the thing is, over time, we develop these coping mechanisms. You see, at some point, They may have worked for you, but over time, they no longer work. So that's why we need to pivot. But it's hard. It's easier said than done. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So the 4 responses, the 4 ways we respond. So the first one, we have a tendency to turn inward. We replay the failure. So some of us, that's our coping mechanism. That's our default. We automatically, no matter what happens, we turn inward. We replay the situation over and over again. What we start telling ourselves, what we should have done, what we could have said, what we wish we could change. And over time, they become their worst critics. You know, you just remember just the pain. That's all you start to remember. You just keep reliving it. So it's like that's the only thing you can think about. Your focus is just that I'm in pain right now. So if you were to just think about it for a second, I'm not asking you to avoid it, but replaying it over and over again. So every time you replay it, it's almost like you were living the situation. You put yourself back through that situation in that moment again, and that can't be healthy. That cannot be healthy. The other response is to turn outward. You start looking for distractions because the pain is too great. So some women, you turn outward. You try to stay busy. You distract yourself. You fill the void with activities, people, noise. But nothing is actually healed. So the pain is still there. You're still in pain. But you're doing these activities to avoid the discomfort of dealing with your pain. So this one, you are avoiding it. You're avoiding it. So you know what happened when you avoid a situation? You're suppressing your feelings. And you're thinking, oh, I'm doing better in the moment, because you're distracting yourself. So let me give you a quick example. So you're mad at work, but you don't want to express yourself at work. So you go home. Guess what you take with you? That pain. And you go home and you lash out at one of your kids. So was that the avoidance, you avoiding dealing with the pain or dealing with the situation, was that helpful? Because now you just created a problem at home. Okay? The other way we deal with pain, we turn bitter. We start blaming everyone. We blame the situation, blame the people, blame everything outside of ourselves. But after all, it's easier. Is it easier to see things in us or others? So we can't see how we contributed to what's happening. So it's easier to blame everybody else. And I will say, sometimes you find yourself in situations that are truly, really painful. While the pain is real, it may be real. Blaming others, not taking accountability for the part you played in it, keeps you stuck in it. And I know that's not what you guys, I know nobody wants to be stuck. Nobody wants to be stuck. Nobody. Because the longer you stay in the pain, the longer you hurt. So why would anyone want to stay stuck? So the other way, the fourth way, we turn upward. And that is the way I want to talk to you about today. That is the way. So you lift that heavy heart. You lift the heavy heart towards heaven. Not because everything makes sense, but because you choose to trust God. So when you're looking around, looking outward, you're blaming everybody else, or you're trying to fill that void, or you're looking inward and you're blaming yourself and you're replaying the situation. What I'm encouraging you to do today is to look upward. So where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. So choose to look upward. This is where everything changes. Not the situation, but you. You begin to say, I feel discouraged, but I trust you, God. You remind yourself of the many times God did it before. The many times he walked with you. The many times you should have been destroyed, but you became whole again. The many times the devil meant for something to hurt you, but God turned it for good. The sickness, the divorce, all that he has gotten you through. Too often we forget because we're in pain. When you're in pain, you can't think clearly. You forget all that God has taken you through. So the key is, if he's done it before, he'll do it again. So you need to stop and verbalize that. I'm in pain now, but I know you did it before and you'll do it again. And at that moment, what that does, it helps you to trust and surrender your way. You tell God, your way, I surrender. So from now on, I surrender and I trust. It's your way and your will. And even in uncertainties, but you are declaring, thank you, Lord. Even before I understand. And there were so many times in my life, I had no clue. I did not understand, but I trusted God. Because while other people may fail you, God will never leave you nor forsake you. I know in my life, he's never forsake me. So that's what faith looks like. You know he's going to show up and show out. So it's not perfection, of course. Not control. Just trust. You just trust that God will show up and he will. So in the Pell Rebirth framework, I've talked about a few of the parts of the framework before. So this would be considered as your restore moment, where you stop trying to control everything and begin to trust God. This is where you release the weight. Imagine how that will feel when you release that backpack you've been carrying by yourself. The freedom you experience when you do that, and you allow God to carry what you cannot. And this is where your healing begin. I really don't know what you are carrying today, but I know this: you do not have to carry it alone. You don't have to stay stuck in replay. It's like, you remember back in the days, we had a cassette players, and when that thing got stuck, it just replayed the same thing, and it made this noise. And that's like you just keep replaying the same thing over and over, and I bet that's irritating. Or you start finding distractions, and some distractions, like let's say exercising, if you do it, I mean, I'm not saying exercising every single day and not dealing and avoiding dealing with what you need to deal with. So there are some distractions that are healthy, but we're not talking about those healthy distractions. We're talking about finding any and everything to fill that void instead of you dealing with the situation and then becoming bitter. So you can choose differently. Yes, you can choose differently. Although you are in pain, I'm going to encourage you. Turn upward and trust God. Let Him carry you through this. He's not going to come and force you. He wants you to give it to Him freely. That is called free will. You are not breaking. You are becoming. And this is your journey from pressure to peril. So imagine at the end, the beautiful pearl you would have become from the pressure. So the pressure is real. The pain is real. But we want to think, close your eyes with me, and think of the finished product. Think of the outcome. If you turn your eyes upward instead of all the other ways you've been dealing with it. So if this spoke to you, this is exactly the work we do inside Madame Pearl. Helping women move from pain to purpose through faith, identity, and transformation. So today, this subject, stopping to carry it alone and trusting God, is very important to me. Because in my life, I've only been able to deal with my struggles because, number one, I realized that by myself, I could not carry the weight. I could not fight alone. And sometimes you feel like you are done wrong, the injustice, and you want to go fight, but you're not equipped. You are not equipped alone to fight. And God does not want you to fight. It's like you go into a fight with a pocket knife. You don't know what tools, what weapon the enemy has. So you already lost before you even started. So I want you to think about that. So I want to thank you for spending your precious time with me. Thank you. So until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, you don't have to carry it alone. Have a good week. Thank you.